Time to take our first look at sports. Carly Agro joining me for that, and it's been a long road to this presentation to the AJHL for our hockey team here.
Yeah, it's a long and bumpy road, and we hit sort of another speed bump today anyways, but this one was some very positive momentum. Well, today the Friends of the Lloydminster Bobcats walked the talk. At 1 o'clock this afternoon, the community-based ownership group used a 65-slide PowerPoint presentation and a 94-page document to make their case to the Alberta Junior Hockey League. Jeff Mulligan made the long-awaited trip to Edmonton and is proud of how far the group has come.
For us, it was a very energetic thing for us. We were all very eager to get into the room and express our case for the Alberta Junior Hockey League, and I think we opened up the dialogue to some very good discussion, and a lot of good questions have come out of it, and a lot of things that we need to be a little bit better prepared for, and I think they have a better understanding of what we're bringing to the table, and that our ideas are very well thought out, and that our community has done a very good job supporting our hockey team.
While an official decision from the league will not be reached until April the 9th, Mulligan is confident that he and the group put their best foot forward and have done all they can to help keep the team in the border city.
You know, I think in being in the meeting with those people today, they were very receptive in our information. They asked a lot of good detailed questions about our organization and how we feel things are going to go into the future. You know, again, you hope for the best feeling when you leave, and you know, I still feel the passion and the energy that I had when I walked in as I walked out. And again, it was all about looking for a positive future for not only the Alberta Junior Hockey League, but the organization of the Lloydminster Bobcats and that being in Lloydminster.
League President Craig Cripps said he would not be commenting on the matter until tomorrow afternoon. In other Bobcats news, later this afternoon, Brent Stark, the businessman from Whitecourt who made the initial sales offer to Wayne Russell, issued a two-page statement to the media today. In it, Stark said in the original draft letter agreement, "I committed to leave the team in Lloydminster for at least one more season to give a fair and honest effort to revitalize the club in Lloydminster. But I removed that commitment in the letter agreement at the request of the mayor and Wayne Russell." Well, today I had the chance to ask Mayor Mulligan why he asked this clause be removed from the initial offer and why it would not be in the city's best interest to have Stark purchase the team and keep them in town for a year.
If the team was going to move and the offer was from a non-resident owner to relocate the team, then keeping the team here for a year in a transitional state didn't make any business sense. It would be hard for me to protect the taxpayers' interest by ensuring we added money into an operation or provided funding of the taxpayers' money and ultimately built franchise value for a franchise that could be and likely would be relocated in a year.
Stark continued to describe Mr. Russell's decision to only consider the Friends of the Bobcats proposal. He said, "The promise I made, which had the full intention of delivering on to close friends and supporters of our organization in the Whitecourt Woodlands region to realize our dream of becoming home to a Junior A franchise, has been delivered a blow by Mr. Russell." Mayor Mulligan has this to offer in Mr. Russell's defense.
My reaction is it's business. At the end of the day, Wayne Russell made very clear to Mr. Stark in the very first meeting that there was a 60-day right of first refusal clause that was in an operating agreement he had with the city. This is not new news, was never new news. It's not a surprise to Mr. Stark. The reality is that there was a right of first refusal clause. Mr. Russell openly and honestly disclosed it in their discussions, and in fact, Mr. Stark knew about it.
Newcap Sports will continue to monitor very closely the sale and potential relocation of the Bobcats. Well, the 2011 GMC Rangeland Derby at the Calgary Stampede is 97 days away. And while that might seem like a long ways away, corporate sponsors, drivers, and Stampede committee members have been hard at work preparing for the 99th edition of the greatest outdoor show on earth. And if last night's canvas auction is any indication, this year's Derby is proving to be one of the best yet. 192 bidders from all across North America's corporate world made the trip to Cowtown to have the chance to see their logo on a chuck wagon at this year's Stampede. For those in attendance, there is evidence the sport's popularity and marketability continues to grow.
I can certainly tell you that we had just a simply phenomenal auction this year. We can truly see that the economy in Calgary and in central and southern Alberta is strengthening. And really the proof of that is in the outstanding increase in money bid much of it coming from new advertisers.
It's evident by the Calgary Stampede Tarp sale and the support that companies have brought forward here in 2011 and in the past. The chuck wagon racing is truly a marketable sport and event, and people want to be a part of it.
This year saw a nearly 45% increase in bids. Total auction proceeds were up from over $1.9 million to nearly $2.9 million. The good news didn't surprise Stampede officials.
Well, we always thought it was there, you know, and then the bottom line is we always believed that our corporate support would be there for the canvas auction. A lot of it is not so much on how the races are run, it's on what the economy is like. And the economy this year is strengthening. I don't think it's at the strongest point yet, but it's certainly strengthening.
For rookie CPCA driver Jamie Labicane, who makes his driving debut at this year's Derby, the 80% retention rate of his bid is key to keeping his outfit competitive.
As for the upcoming year, I'll be able to spend a lot more on horses, and it'll just, and with money going down the road for feed, and it's an expensive sport, and with that money, it makes things a lot easier. You can afford to train and feed and buy better horses, which makes you stronger in the long run.
The auction total was the third highest in the 33-year history of the Stampede Tarp auction. And for Hempston and the drivers of the CPCA, the increase in value couldn't come at a better time. The CPCA's Tarp auction goes April 13th.